In the autumn of 1860, a copy of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species found its way to the desk of its author, freshly printed and bound. This particular volume, however, was not just for review. It was a working document, a private space for contemplation. Within its pages, alongside the revolutionary text, lie faint pencil markings and ink notations, a silent dialogue between Darwin and his own profound ideas. These annotations are not the casual underlines or question marks one might expect. They are, in many instances, systematic, almost cryptographic. Scholars have noted patterns that suggest a deliberate attempt to obscure or to encode certain thoughts, a practice uncommon for Darwin, who was generally forthright in his published correspondence and extensive notebooks. The very existence of these coded messages raises immediate questions about their content and purpose. The year 1859 marked the publication of a work that would fundamentally alter the scientific understanding of life on Earth. On the Origin of Species introduced the concept of natural selection, a mechanism for evolution that challenged prevailing religious and scientific orthodoxies. Its impact was immediate and seismic, sparking debate that reverberated across continents and through social strata. Darwin himself was no stranger to meticulous observation and the slow accumulation of evidence. His 5-year voyage on the HMS Beagle had provided a wealth of data, from the finches of the Galapagos to the fossil records of South America. These experiences, combined with decades of further research and correspondence, formed the bedrock of his theory, a theory he had hesitated for years to fully commit to paper. The initial reception of Origin was a complex tapestry of awe, outrage, and academic dissection. While many scientists recognized the elegance and empirical support for his theory, religious leaders and segments of the public condemned it as an assault on divine creation and human dignity. Darwin, often frail and preferring quiet study, found himself at the center of a public controversy he had not fully anticipated. It is against this backdrop of intense intellectual and social pressure that we must consider Darwin's personal copy. What thoughts, doubts, or counter-arguments might he have felt compelled to articulate only in private, and in a manner that obscured them from casual or even scholarly eyes? The Marginalia, therefore, offer a unique window into the private intellectual life of a scientist under immense scrutiny. For many years, these coded passages were largely ignored or dismissed as trivial doodling. It was only through dedicated efforts by Darwin scholars, employing advanced cryptographic techniques and painstaking comparative analysis, that the potential significance of these symbols began to emerge. The work of individuals like historian John Van Wy has been crucial in bringing these hidden annotations to light. The complexity of the coding varied. Some passages seemed to employ simple abbreviations or letter substitutions, while others hinted at a more elaborate cipher, perhaps a personal shorthand developed over years of note-taking. The sheer effort involved suggests that the thoughts being encoded were of considerable importance to Darwin, perhaps representing points of contention he had with his own theory or with external criticisms. One recurring theme suggested by the deciphered passages appears to relate to the concept of progress in evolution. While Darwin's published work focused on adaptation and survival, the Marginalia hint at a private wrestling with whether evolution inherently implied a hierarchical ascent towards more complex or perfect forms. This was a common interpretation that Darwin himself often sought to distance his theory from. Another area of speculation concerns potential theological or philosophical objections that Darwin might have harbored, but could not publicly voice without undermining his life's work. The encoded notes might have been a way for him to explore these sensitive areas, to reconcile his scientific findings with personal beliefs or societal expectations, without committing them to a form that could be weaponized against him. The implications of these coded marginalia extend beyond merely clarifying Darwin's personal thoughts. They reveal the immense pressure that scientific pioneers faced in articulating truly revolutionary ideas. Even a figure as scientifically secure as Darwin felt the need for a private, encoded space to explore the full ramifications of his discoveries and the societal implications they carried. Furthermore, these hidden notes underscore the subjective and often intensely personal nature of scientific discovery. While scientific theories are built on objective evidence, the process of formulating them and the internal debates they provoke remain deeply human. Darwin's coded marginalia serve as a powerful reminder that even the most celebrated scientific minds engage in internal dialogues and grapple with uncertainties. The very act of encoding suggests a cautious pragmatism. Darwin understood the potential for misinterpretation and the damage that could be inflicted by those seeking to discredit his work. By encrypting certain thoughts, he may have been protecting both his theory and himself from premature or hostile judgment, allowing his ideas to gain traction before exploring their more controversial edges. This practice also highlights Darwin's role as not just a scientist, but a keen observer of human nature and societal dynamics. He was aware of the intellectual and cultural currents of his time, and his coded notes can be seen as a strategic interaction with those currents, a way to navigate the treacherous waters of public opinion and academic debate. The ongoing study of these marginalia continues to refine our understanding of Darwin's intellectual journey. Each deciphered symbol, each inferred meaning, adds another layer to the portrait of the man behind the revolutionary theory. It is a testament to his meticulousness that even his private thoughts were structured and, in a sense, archived. The questions raised by these coded notes are not entirely resolved. The full extent of their meaning remains a subject of scholarly debate, a puzzle box left by one of history's greatest thinkers. They remind us that scientific progress is not always a linear, public march, but can involve private struggles, subtle hesitations, and hidden dialogues. Charles Darwin's personal copy of On the Origin of Species is more than just a historical artifact. It is a testament to the complex, often hidden, inner life of a scientist. The coded marginalia invite us to look closer, to appreciate the depth of thought and the quiet considerations that accompany even the most transformative intellectual leaps. These annotations serve as a profound footnote to a monumental work, reminding us that the history of science is filled with such quiet, overlooked details. They reveal the human element within the grand narrative of discovery, the private ponderings that shape public understanding. The archive holds many such secrets, layers of history waiting to be carefully peeled back. Each document, each annotation, tells a story that expands our understanding of the past. Join us next time as we explore another quiet corner of history, another overlooked detail that reshapes our perspective. The archive is vast, and there are always more stories waiting to be uncovered.